do a TED Talk at St Andrews, north of Edinburgh. Stopped off to see my pal, Johnny Boy Steele, who you remember from the other two podcasts we've done in recent months. Now, there's a lot of interest on YouTube in the ice cream war murders, and Johnny Boy's brother was stitched up for this, did almost 20 years, innocent man. Johnny Boy helped him escape, do the protest. We talked about some of that in the last podcast. But a lot of people out there have no clue what the ice cream war was about. So we're going to start. Johnny, if you could explain what the ice cream war was, what does that mean?
Yeah, well, the ice cream war was blown into proportion by various newspapers, especially when Joseph and T.C. Campbell had been arrested for the death of 6 members of one family, the Dog family, who died through smoke inhalation when there was a fire lit in a stairwell in the house in Lucchese. And some members of that family had an ice cream van, or a couple of ice cream vans, and there was quite a bit. The thing is with the housing schemes, most of the shops all closed at 6 o'clock in the evening. So after 6 o'clock you were hard to find a shop where you could go and get some messages or whatever. But the thing is, the ice cream vans come into play, and they wouldn't just sell ice cream and juice, they would sell bread, milk, you know, things you would buy in a grocer's shop, newspapers, cigarettes. But there was a particular moment in time when newspaper reports were carrying falseness and just out and out lies that drugs were being sold from the ice cream vans. That was a lucrative business for selling drugs, cocaine and heroin and God knows whatever else. But I personally believe that was all done through the Serious Crime Squad, and to highlight this crime that was already, didn't need any highlight, it was already quite horrific, and to make matters worse, putting rumours out to various newspapers and newsreels that these vans were being used for drug runs, and there was never any evidence at Joe Steele's trial, Tommy Campbell and Joe Steele. Never anything was mentioned about drugs being sold over an ice cream van. This was just newspapers, you know, sensationalising and to...
Okay, let me just say something real quick then. I just watched Count Dankula's video on YouTube, Ice Cream War, and he's saying a lot of people believe that the vans were being used to sell heroin, I think it was. But I was thinking about this. If you're sending ice cream vans out to sell heroin, you're going to have a line of kids here buying the ice creams, a line of heroin addicts here buying the heroin. It just sounds ridiculous. So you're saying now that this was police propaganda?
Well, that fella's probably right when he says a lot of people believe that was going on, because that was all sensationalised back in the day by various newspapers and news reports. So and it was rubbish, because, as I said, there was never a mention of any drugs being sold over an ice cream van during the weeks of Joe Steele and Tommy Campbell's trial. And I'm quite sure if there was any drugs, skullduggery going on with drugs over ice cream vans, and in particular when kids line up to go to the ice cream vans, as you rightly said, kids line up for cones, and so what would happen with the drugs bit one side and the cones, but it's just bloody ridiculous, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that carried a lot of weight, I would believe, in the conviction of Tommy Campbell and Joseph Steele during the ice cream wars. There was obviously trouble with ice cream vans back in the day. Me myself was into robbing ice cream vans, because one ice cream van owner would say, "Can you get rid of him?" No, as in pop. He just get rid of him, smash his van up and get him moved on to the scheme so they could take the run. There was quite a bit of that going on.
So ice cream vans were getting shot up because people were robbing them,
Yeah.
not because rival drug gangs were trying to get the ice cream vans out of the way so they could have their ice cream vans.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, nothing was ever mentioned about drugs. That was bad with their reports, and you know, and that was just wasn't even a sensationalisation, it was lies, just out and out lies, and it carried a lot of weight on the conviction, for the conviction, and on the sentence of Joseph Steele and Tommy Campbell.
Because what?
As that fella Count Dracula says, a lot of people believe, but all they need to do is look back through the transcript and never mention of anything about drugs.
Yeah. So there were violent incidences with ice cream vans,
Yeah.
shootings, robbings, etc.
Yeah,
The guy whose house got burned, Doyle,
Mrs. Doyle family.
the Doyle family, the allegation was that he'd refused to submit to the drug gang, so then the gang went and burnt his house down.
Rubbish.
And then, what did 5 people die in the fire?
I think it was 6 members of the one.
And the one was an 18-month-old baby.
Yeah.
And that's what created, you know, all of the
Yeah, that's it.
absolutely horrific thing that was news headlines. And then the police interviewed 1,500 people, and they couldn't get anywhere with the case.
Yeah,
So they've got a lot of pressure on them now.
yeah.
And this guy called Love
Billy Love.
suddenly remembers the conversation in a pub involving your brother.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he gave the police a statement, but he was also untried. He was untried for robbery, and I believe some of the robberies he was untried for was to do with ice cream vans as well. But Billy Love has struck a deal with the coppers, because the coppers will try to strike deals with everybody, as they would in a case like that. If anybody, you know, they would trade an indictment, they would even trade a jail sentence if they could have given information related to anything that could help to make a conviction against Tommy and Joseph back in the day. But Billy Love, they called him Billy Liar, and Billy Love was under so much pressure himself with the serious crime squad, and he made false allegations about Tommy and Joseph, overhearing them talking about a conversation in the pub that they bumped the Doyle house. And then they found out much later on that Billy Love, the date that Billy Love said he overheard this statement made in the pub, Billy Love was actually in the jail. So he switched the statement from one place to another on a different date. And the courts were all well aware of this, but it didn't really matter, because that was the biggest mass murder in modern times in Scotland.
Wow.
This was before the Lockerbie disaster, the Lockerbie murders. So that case was classed as the biggest mass murder in modern times in Scottish history. So yeah, there's no doubt that the court was under tremendous pressure to try and find the culprits. But that didn't give them a right to try to go to him and just make up any old excuses as to who they think had done it, and then bring other people in to back up their evidence to say that they'd overheard these guys saying that.
Because once Love gave his statement and got released,
Yeah,
then another guy gave a statement, didn't he? And he got released.
yeah,
And when they arrested Tommy, and when they arrested your brother,
yeah,
some of the main evidence against them became the statements they made as they were arrested. Supposedly,
yeah.
Tommy said, I didn't mean to,
It was only meant to be a frightener.
it was only meant to be a frighten. I didn't mean to burn the house down.
And Joseph supposed to have said to the coppers when they were arresting him from my mother's house, I wasn't the one that lit the match.
So 2 people who are in the criminal community,
Yeah,
not doing murders or horrific crimes or anything at that level, but they're street smart people.
Yeah.
The second you get arrested, you're not going to say anything to the police. You're going to be like, right, I want a lawyer, right to remain silent. You're not going to say, I wasn't the one who lit the match.
the other thing is when they arrested Tommy Campbell for his house, they said they found a map.
The map!
They found the map with
Oh!
a circle in it. Now the maps, the cage is only a mile or 2 miles away from where we grew up, so we don't need maps for any locations in anywhere in that part of the east end of Glasgow. So they'd circled the map. The coppers had circled the map around about the Bank End Street where the Mrs. Doyle's family were housed just before they died. So they also verbal Tommy up and said it was only meant to be a frightener. And Tommy Campbell's streetwise, they're all streetwise, we all grew up being streetwise, and the last thing you ever do is make a statement to the police that can incriminate you And certainly in a statement like that, you know, that put the nail right in the coffin as far as verbal statements are concerned. So therefore Tommy says, I'm not the one, sorry, Joseph says, I'm not the one to let the match, implying I was there, but I didn't strike the match. But you know, it wouldn't have made any difference anyway if he'd have been there and didn't strike the match. It would be all that part and parcel. And of course Tommy's verbal, it was only meant to be a frightener, implying I didn't mean to kill them. That's the way you look at that statement. And again, quite horrific as it was with the poor Doyle family. But even more so horrific what happened to my brother and Tommy Campbell.
Why do you think they settled on your brother and Tommy?
I don't really know. The only thing I can think is, I know the same coppers framed my dad back in the day, probably about 1972.
When you say the same police, do you mean the exact same men?
Same walker and through, same two top kiddies for the serious crime squad.
Yeah.
They planted explosives in my dad's house way back in the day, and my dad got a 5 stretch. The same coppers planted a jeweller's card in my brother Jim's house, because my brother Jim was accused of doing a robbery. They took one of the business cards for the jeweller's shop, and when they were doing investigating the robbery, coppers is, and planted it in your Jim's house and said they found it there, implying that he must have got it for during the robbery. And the same two coppers, again, were involved in, when we escaped from Ballini, they were involved in the alleged bribes that taken place with certain prison officers. And these same two coppers were trying to convince us to give them the screws that they thought had taken the bribes. And of course we weren't in a position to give them a statement. And we played them along. We played them along because we were getting granted immunity, what I explained to you before. And bear in mind, TC was involved in the jail breaking when we escaped from Ballini, me and my brother Jim and Archie. Tommy was involved. He was involved as much as they had him in the untried. And Tommy lay in the untried, waiting to go to court for aiding and abetting in a jailbreak for me, with me and my brother Jim and my co-accused Archie. So when they asked us to give them a statement for the prison officers that supposedly took the bribe, they give us the names and we'll do the rest. But we weren't in a position to give them that statement. This is the same two coppers who were involved in Joe and Tommy's case in the ice cream wars. So when we played them along, we didn't play them along as such, but we went, well, we're going to get murdered here. We go back to Ballini, we'll not be in any fit state. We've got all left to us to give you a statement, because we'll get killed, these cunts will do us, and that's the way it would have been. And they went, no, we'll get you granted immunity. We'll have you out of this prison in quick time. In the meantime, you're protected. You're going to a hall with different locks on your doors. The Secretary of State for Scotland is now involved in this case, and we've got it for hierarchy, higher authority, that you will be granted immunity and you'll be put in a cell till we decide where you're going to go for here. And there's special locks on your doors that only one officer can get access to. So this is the coppers telling me, Jim and Archie, this just after we escaped from Ballini. And the procurator fiscal, a guy called Skeen, he was a kind of head honcho when it comes to indictments. And he came on the scene and he reiterated what the coppers had told us. If he gives a statement, we'll have you out here. And there'll be no repercussions, there'll be no brutality, because we've got the Secretary of State for Scotland. He's looking down in this case. This is a serious matter. We need the coppers. So we said, well, we can't give you what you're looking for, because we're going to get killed, and then we're on, no, we've got that sorted, you're going to another jail, any jail you wish. Well, it's still no over and done me, because you've got TC lying in the on-trial for the jail breaking, and we're concerned that you're going to fit TC up and Shadow Lafferty. You're going to fit you two up for aiding and abetting us in the jailbreak. So we're not really in a position to give you it, because we think you're going to fit them up and manufacture evidence to gain a conviction. They were like, no, we'll not do that. You know, like, sure. We said, well, we'll give you the statement once TC's trial's over. So they were relying on that. So when TC's trial came up, TC and Shadow Laffick went to court, High Court in Glasgow. We were witnesses for them to say that there wasn't anything that broke us out. And anyway, they got a not proven the two of them, and it was great news, and we were all cheering and laughing, and the whole country was laughing. You know what I mean? But sad and tragic thing is, I wouldn't like to think that it was payback time for us with the coppers, because it's the exact same because when the coppers did come back to us and Peter Heath saying, right, we're here for the statement, Tommy's out, you're like, chase yourselves. So they never got the statement off us. But ironically, it was the same two coppers, the same serious crime squad, who are now involved with Joseph and Tommy. And it just so happens that they also fitted Tommy, what came out in the last years later, long time later, when Tommy and Joseph went back to the High Court in Edinburgh and won their appeal and got released. But the same coppers were involved in the skullduggery. They wanted us to fit coppers up, or plenty of prison officers up in the prison for the bribe. And it just so happened that they were involved with Joseph and Tommy.
Do you think it's easier to frame someone if they've got criminal history like that? And they wouldn't pick innocent people. They pick somebody who's got some criminal history.
Well, it would be more believable if you pick somebody with criminal history, but it's the easiest thing in the world to frame anybody. You could frame somebody with any evidence. I mean, you could commit a murder and somebody else could be done for that. If you were clever enough to put your head together. And that's how the serious crime squad in Glasgow gained a lot of their convictions, through fitting people up, framing people.
Yeah.
It's a well-known fact, a well-documented fact.
Yeah.
You know, and I firmly believe that, you know, they were gutted because we chased them for giving them a statement as regarding the guys that took the bribe and money, and we made a fucking fool of them, to be quite honest with you. You know?
Yeah.
And it's not the kind of thing they would have forgot about quite easily.
Yeah.
And we were all known to the coppers, even my dad, my brothers, Tommy Campbell, Tommy's brothers, Tommy's dad. It was one big massive family on the one boat. Somebody's all going in different directions, but everybody knew everybody. So everybody who was involved in any skullduggery, any crime going on in Glasgow or the roundabouts, everybody knew of the serious crime squad and knew of their tactics. They knew they would be quite capable of doing.
So this was such a horrific, heinous crime, headline news all across the country.
Yeah.
When your brother gets arrested for this, how did that feel for you and your family?
Well, I was in jail, Shaun. I was in at this time I'm doing 16 years. Brother did 3 years added on for the escape from Ballini.
Yeah.
And plus of those 5 years of mission. So I'm in solitary confinement when I get this news. And Jim's in solitary confinement. Jim and I in a cell block with Peter prison. And somebody called in for the halls because none of us had radios going back with this thing. We were on dirty protest, so we never had any luxuries such as radios or cigarettes. And any news we got was filtered for the cell block windows down into the punishment block. And of course I was up at my hammock when somebody shouted into me. Johnny saw the news. Well, we all knew it was all the news about the thing with the Doyle family, the family dying in that fire. That was widespread. It was all over. It was all over the place. And there was photographs appearing in the newspaper that we managed to get a look at, and quite horrific photographs. You know, see this family sitting, two, three brothers sitting in an ambulance, and sheer horror look on their faces. You know, it was devastating. And somebody shouted into me, "Your Joseph's been arrested for the murder of the Doyle family." And never, man. You know, Jesus Christ, that was just one blow on top already. Or other blows that I'd already had throughout the years we've been fighting with the prison guards. And
did you know right away he was innocent and that he'd been framed?
I didn't know right away. The shock was so much. I mean, I ended up coming off my hammock and I just couldn't. I just try to take in what the fuck's going on here, man. Because I know Joe was only a pigeon, man. Joe was into his pigeons. We were on to do as kids. Big Tommy was quite violent. He was a leader of the gang, Big Tommy, and we all grew up fighting each other.
So Joe and Tommy were in the same gang?
The thing is with Joe, here's one for you. Joseph was born in Tommy Campbell's house in Camtime.
Okay.
Right. I don't know what was going on there, but I think my dad might have been fighting with my ma's brothers. She's got five or six brothers my mother had, and I think there might have been some trouble. And my ma and my dad maybe moved into Tommy Campbell's house, Tommy Campbell's dad's house, sorry. So, and I remember as a kid Tommy Campbell chasing me. I was always get chased. I was up dikes and you couldn't get you down for your tea. You're climbing bridges. So Tommy's like, your mum wants you. I was like, no. She's got a surprise for you. And I no. I said, no, I'm not going. And I thought I was taking him to get chastised for climbing dikes and whatever. So he's got me anyway. Him and another guy, Big Tammy Gray. And Tammy was also a co-accused, Joseph and Tommy Campbell's. So they've got me, they dragged me up the stairs to Tommy's house in Rigby Street. And he says, no, your ma's got a surprise for you, a wee present for you. And then I was like, Ma, I wasn't climbing dikes. I don't care what you were climbing dikes or not. She said, I'll go for you. And she pulled the blanket down, and it was your Joseph. Joseph had just been born. He was actually born in Tommy's house, believe it or not. So, strange how it all transpires and through life and that.
How old were you when Joseph was born?
I was probably about 6 or something. Joseph was born. But back to the fit nut. Obviously, the coppers were probably under that much pressure. David had to find somebody. And Tommy had a van on the road at that particular time. Tommy had an ice cream van on the road. I believe his sister had an ice cream van on the road at that particular time. But the same two coppers, the same serious crime squad that were trying to get us to fit the screws up, would give the screws for the bribe by any means. Just give the names and we will deal with the rest of it. Just so happened to be the same two screws, same two serious crime squad coppers that had Joseph and Tommy in the clutches. And out of that came two verbal statements which neither said.
Are they the same two police who found the map?
This is the same mob that found the map, right? And one of the coppers eventually took his own life. He put a hose pipe in his gullet.
Really?
For the back of his motor into the back of his car.
Wow. And
killed himself. The other one died. But before they could be brought to justice, But anyway, justice was a long time coming. It still hasn't came yet because nobody was held accountable for what happened for that. But the thing is with Joseph was in the car with five coppers, right? And when Joseph was supposed to have blurted out on the way to the police station, I'm the one that lit the match. It turns out that the copper who's driving the car stops the car, pulls his notebook out and writes down what Joseph said and then drove the car away again. The other coppers pull their notebooks out. But it just so happens that as John Carroll found out, Joseph's lawyer John Carroll had done an awful lot of work and a lot of unpaid work into the investigation into the wrongdoing of Tommy and Joseph. John Carroll was an ex-copper himself, believe it or not. Joseph's lawyer. It so happens that when these statements are all given out and when it comes to the court time for the trial, every word was bang on. Every 5 coppers that was in that motor, they all remember, they all wrote their statements down saying word for word, it wasn't me that lit that match. And John Carroll brought a linguistic expert in, and he also done something in some of the universities or somewhere in Glasgow. I think somebody else to do it, a linguistic expert. He says he was doing a speech, this fella, and he says, I want everybody to stop for a moment and I want you all to take a pen and paper and write this down. It wasn't me that lit the match. So he says, and then we'll go back to it. So when he does that, he came out with that to this class. And when the class had done, or he'd done with the rest of the duties for the day, he got the statements, he got the bits of paper back after students, and hardly anyone got it right. Harley and them got it right word for word. And John Carroll used that, the linguistic expert in the court, you know, to prove that the coppers made these statements
It
up.
was a
And
script.
they were all notifying each other's books to see what they'd written.
Yeah.
You know, and quite blown out of proportion, the ice cream wars. You can talk about ice cream wars getting shot up, and well, you can also say the same about shops, can't you? You know, how many shops have been guns fired at them, and how many shops have been robbed, and you know, I could think about that on a daily basis. But the ice cream war was never what the media tried to make it, and certainly wasn't what the police tried to make it. Because as I said to you before, never was there a mention of drugs getting sold over an ice cream van at any time through the High Court trial with Joseph and Tony Campbell.
Right, going back to the day of Joe's arrest then, you've heard the news, your head's just gone.
Yeah.
How long did it take for you to kind of gain an understanding of what had really happened? And how were the prisoners reacting? Were the prisoners believing the news and calling you guys names? Or were the prisoners believing that the police had done some dirty work?
Nobody was calling us names.
Okay.
There was nothing like that. You know, everybody's aware of the police doing dirty work, but everybody was shocked. Shocked at what happened to the Doyle family. Then when it comes out that it's two people you know who's been charged with it, you're still in a bit of shock, yeah. So you don't sit down and think. I didn't sit down right away and think, oh, the coppers are fitting my brother up. You kind of get time to think like, all you can do is think about your brother, think about my own mother, think about my own family, what can be possibly going through their heads, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And because mine, he was already scrambled, but on top of that, as I said, I was never a nail in my coffin. Because then I know whatever way you're going to have to look at this, it's going to be a long fight. You know, and I can when we eventually got my mother up to the visit.
What was your mum's reaction?
I'm going to tell you that in a wee minute.
Yeah.
When we finally got my mother up to the visit with some of the relatives helped to bring her in and support her. And she was rolling greeting at the visit and said to me, oh, my poor Joseph, you dirty bastards. And Brenda says to me, Mama was ready for an early breakdown, Johnny. The doctor says to Mama, if you get any sharp things in here, just take them away and hide them at the road so your mother can't get access to them.
Yeah.
Because she was wanting up to these. My mother's never used a threat. I'll go at yours, but never threatened to harm anybody, certainly not with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
But my sister Brenda says to me, she was talking to me going up to East police station and taking a big knife out the kitchen and going up there and looking for revenge for what they did to Joseph, you know. Because I don't know about the verbal statement at this moment in time. I'm unaware of what's happening. I'm still in shock because you know, because who's involved, who have got done for it. Then my ma came up with a visit, and Jim said, Ma, you're okay, hen, don't worry about it. He'll be fine when he goes to court about it. And I'm saying to Jim, what the fucking hell, Jim, man? I said, what are you saying, man? I said, sugarcoat this, man. I said, you're fucking never going to get it, Jim. I said, the one of the biggest mass murder in modern times. You don't think the cop was going to go to somebody to pull Tommy and Joseph and suddenly let them get out? That's not going to happen. I said, you fucking think the pressure that they're under to try and get somebody in here, and I say, and it's the same mob who put us all under pressure to get a conviction, like at Lumpet, whether you done it or didn't do it. So I says to Jim, and I went, no, I says to my mother, no, listen, mother, get your coat of armour on here. We will probably go out eventually, man. I said, I don't know what's going on, I said, but I tell you, it's going to be some fight. And that's what I'm saying to you as your son, and I don't want to hurt you. And the reason I'm telling you, because I love you, I'm trying to protect you, and I'm trying to tell you, stay strong in there, don't listen to what anybody else is saying to you, or I'll get out when you go to court. You know, and I proved to be right. It was a long shot, you know, making 18 years later, and I was still fighting for our freedom, Joe and Tommy.
Didn't the police get promoted right away for solving the crime?
Well, I don't know about promotion, but they certainly would have get many pats in the back, you know, because that was a horrific crime, and you know, and on top of that, there was the biggest mass murder in modern times. So there's a, you know, they'd have been threw up in the air and caught the way back down again, you know, as if it was a wedding or that. You know, they'd have certainly benefited out of that, and anybody else who and then try to portray Big Tommy as a monster. You know, the Calm Time monster, the Emperor of the Calm Time, and try to portray him to justify the lies that they were telling about him. They try to put all these horrific stories, and then of course there was bits in the newspaper about my dad's involvement with the Cray twins, and we were for a criminal dynasty, a well-known family throughout Scotland. He went and they could use to blacken them at that trial, and they used every trick in the book, and they certainly got away with it. I'll give you an example. There was when Tommy Campbell and Shadow Lafferty get freed for jailbreaking us for Ballini in 1980, right? There was a photograph of Tommy and Shadow Lafferty outside the High Court, and I think Tommy's got a brolly and he's smiling. The two of them were laughing in the photograph that the photographer took. But they took that photograph and blew it up and took Shadow Lafferty out. Shadow was also accused of being involved in ice cream wars, believe it or not. And they took that photograph of Tommy and blew it up so that it was only him that was in that photograph. And they used that photograph when they get sentenced as if he was a smiling killer coming out of the dirty tricks, you know. So it wasn't just the coppers that were involved. Well, you know, the coppers and a lot of the reporters, they all worked hand in glove, you know what I mean? So they used that photograph of Big Tommy, and I identified that photograph right away as the photograph of Tommy Campbell coming outside the High Court laughing when they get their knock problems for the jailbreaking us. But it looked to the ordinary member of the public, they'd have thought, dirty bastard coming out of that court laughing, do you know what I mean? And that kind of charge hanging over you. So all sorts of skullduggery going on the trial. And they'd known about it a long time, and they had a couple of appeals. They'd done everything then to try and shut him up. I know Tommy Campbell gets set up in PE prison, and he gets spleen bust. They give him a hell of a doing. Tommy had a lot of trouble trying to get his lawyer's letters out. Because in the days when you were fighting your case, they disrupted you. They messed you about. You had to go on request to get a lawyer's letter, and then they would try to find a governor who would give you the lawyer's letter, and then give you the lawyer's letter, and then you writing the letter and the lawyer not getting the letter, and vice versa. So, and Tommy Campbell went on hunger strikes. He went on hunger strikes on a few occasions till he was almost at death's door. And this was quite Tommy's way of bringing the attention to the public what was happening. He wasn't in a position to fight his case because he wasn't getting the help necessary. He wasn't getting access to paperwork. He wasn't getting access to court papers, you know, witnesses, statements, and so it was really quite a horrific case all round, you know, internally and externally. Apart from the poor Doyle family was bad enough, but the skullduggery still continued on in smaller circles and in circles all over the country. Newspaper reporters, TV crews, prison authorities, you know, they were all in the act, you know, and Tommy had to go on hunger strikes on many occasions to gain publicity and let the public know what was happening. I'm on the hunger strike because I'm fucked about and I'm not giving me my lawyer's letters. I can't get a letter for the Secretary of State. I can't get in touch with this witness. Can't get in touch with that witness. And that was exactly what they done. They denied him justice.
How soon after Joe's arrest then were you able to communicate with him?
Well, when Joseph got arrested, I was on a dirty protest at PE prison at the time. There was probably 8 years, maybe 10 years or so.
What year was this?
This one was about 83, 84.
83, 84.
So this dirty protest was the longest in the mainland of Britain, and it was the most serious one. They actually brought in, they brought a body over from the island because they dealt with the IRA prisoners when they were on the dirty protest back in the days. And they brought a body over from the island because the prison authorities in PE had never seen nothing like it, and they couldn't cope. Because they were getting shit through a tap room on a daily basis, shit and piss, and shit and piss was strewed all over the walls, in the cells, out the cells, governor's order room, keyholes, spyholes. You know, we put the whole place out of commission. So any other prisoner that was in any other prisoner that was in the halls, they couldn't get brought into the punishment block because there was nothing. There was no windows in any of the cells. There was no sinks to empty the piss and shit out. There was no toilets in the cells. We took the sinks off and we burst all the pipes, and so there was nothing, no running water whatsoever. So the screws refused to, the guards refused to clean up. So the shit was piling up. Yeah. Then they brought a body off the island, and for what we found out later on was that they said they had never seen anything like it. So at this moment in time, this particular moment in time, the authorities had seen an opportunity to on my case, and they say, listen, you need to see you, Governor wants to see you in the order room. And I mean, Joseph and Tommy's lying on trial at this time. And I got to be doing there, and I say, well, what is it you want? And I thought you're fucking going to give me bad news or something with my ma or something like that, you know. Because I don't normally talk to them and they don't normally send for me, yeah. And he was like to me, and he says, you know your mother's very worried, don't you? And I went, yeah, of course I fucking know she's all very worried. I said, but what are you worried about? You're never worried. You fucking, where did you ever have a conscience about that? He went, well, I'm just thinking, how would you like to go down to Ballini to visit Joseph? And be it, because Joseph was due up for trial. They were due up trial for any, they were due up for, the trial was ending and any day they were going to get sentenced. I think it'd be a good idea, Johnny, we go to you down to Ballini, and that way you can be with Joseph. He says, and control Joseph. And you can get to see your mother doing that. So I went, right, okay then. I said, right, okay. Well, I knew the ploy, because they knew once they got me to that punishment block, the rest of the gang would dissolve. But I could have kept everything going, and I mean, I was the life and soul of the party, pardon the pun, you know what I mean? And then I went, well, fuck it, you know what? I'm going to need to take this opportunity and take advantage of it. So I went up to the cell block, back up the window, climbed onto the hammock, and I shouted to my friends. I went, listen guys, this is the script here. And they were quite sad that I was leaving the vicinity, you know what I mean? But they understood, you know what I mean? And you know, it's always good to have your wee crew and a bit. And when one goes, it's like fucking, it's like losing a limb or something, do you know what I mean? So I said, no, I need to go in here and get this sorted. So when I was in there, and Joseph, I got to see Joseph the day before he gets sentenced. Slasher Gallagher arranged a visit for me to go and visit Joseph in a prison cell. And a couple of days later, well, I got through Joseph, we sat down, we spoke what happened, and we learned all about the verbal statements. I was like, fucking hell, Joe, man. I'm like, oh my God, bro. I said, I don't know what the fuck. I said, the only advice I can give you is, that bastard finds you guilty, Joe, you need to go right to that fucking dock and grab that cunt with the teeth, get your teeth right on that fucker's throat, and tell him you're going to fucking rip it out. You want fucking an investigation immediately. But Joe's like, yeah, I shouldn't have fucking did, Joe, man. You can't fucking sit back like cunts the rest of you. You've not got a weapon, you don't fucking need a weapon, you're a fucking set of teeth. We get the judgment of the bother, he's not a fucking old guy. You get there like a fucking jackrabbit. So anyway, when he goes to court, of course, obviously at the dining hall in Ballini, and there's about fucking, I don't know, maybe 300 days in this dining hall. And it was the tea time, so it would have been the 4 o'clock news, and then it came here, and it was actually a news flash. There's radio that everybody, and normally the radio's playing, everybody's playing poker or playing a game of cards called Bella, or just sitting having a general chat. And it came here on news flash, and the fucking whole place went deadly quiet, and you fucking had a pin dropping. And it came here that the ice cream war killers, Tommy Campbell and Joe Steele, have been found guilty. Tommy Campbell was sentenced to 20-year recommendation in prison, and Joe was sentenced to life. And I said to the guy called Fish, Ballymine, I went, Fish, turn that fucking thing off. And he reached up and turned the radio off. And every gun was shocked, you know what I mean? Every gun was fucking
Did his lawyer, did he just have like a lawyer assigned to him by the state, like a public defender?
But no, I think they had different lawyers. I'm not too sure if Tommy had John Carroll in the very, very beginning, but Joseph had another wee guy called Cobb. And Mr. Cobb, he seemed to be under a hell of a lot of pressure. And I'll tell you why, because when I organised the first getaway for Joseph when I was in the Blarney Special Unit, because Joseph was in the home leave to see my mother who wasn't keeping too well. And I'd organised for Joseph to go on the roof at my ma's house. I'd also organised all the boys in the scheme to join suit and to stay up there as long as we could. And I was also fighting my own case. I was also fighting my own case for an remission that they were holding me on. They were detaining me illegally on a 5-year remission on a 60-day sentence. And so I'm saying to Joseph, right, this is where we work this. You stay up there as long as you can, Joe. I'll go and see the governor at the special unit, and I'll convince him to let him out to try and talk you after his roof. I said, because you're going to be fucking devastated when you're up there, because you've struck a major blowback, and they'll do what they can to get you off that roof. But I'm in the bloody special unit at this time, and I said, so this is the trick, Joe. You stay up there as long as you can, brah. You've nothing to worry about. All the troops will be up there. Everybody will be government will fling as much food up as they can get up to you. Curries, even if you don't want them, we'll just give you moral support. And then they're going to join. I said, so I'm going to go and see the governor and say, look, which I did. I had a wee bit of onion. I had a wee raw onion and a handkerchief. And I went to see the governor. And while this is unfolding on television, that Joseph's on the roof and the TV crews out on fucking coppers all over the place. So I'm sitting in my cell in Millennium and I'm watching it unfold, right? And I'm like, right, then now's my time. So I goes round the chaps to the governor's door. And I've got this wee raw onion in this hanky, so I'm at his door and I'm looking at this fucking pal and the tears are streaking down the face. And they went, you okay, Johnny? I went, no. I said, I'm not. I said, I'm fucking devastated. I said, my mother's fucking in an awful state. I said, I'm just watching the news there. My brother Joseph's on the roof. I says, and we'll need to get him off here soon. I said, because my mother will not be able to cope much more with this. I said, and I'm quite prepared to sacrifice myself and go up there and talk him down. Because in actual fact, I was fucking going to batter onto the roof with him, and that was the whole plan. So I says to Joe, you stay on that fucking roof for as long as you can, brother. I said, they'll think they can use me to talk you off that roof, because they see me as the guy that's settled in. I'm in the special unit by this time. They see me as a different Johnny Steele, the guy who's winning all these debates and getting involved in the arts. And the governor said, you really mean that, Johnny? And this fucking onion burning my eyes now. I'm saying, this can't be seen, this won't put the waterworks on. This fucking thing is burning my eye. And I'm like, I'm getting paranoid. I said, I bet this cunt can smell his onion. So anyway, he says, right, so he says, right, okay then. So he's picked his phone up and he's phoned somebody in the Home Office. And he said, I've got Johnny here, Joe Steele's brother. He says, he's in an awful state. He said he's devastated that his brother has climbed onto the roof and that his mother's in a hell of a mess. And Johnny's offered his services. He says that he would like to go out there and talk Joseph off that roof before any series comes out of this. So whatever was going on in the conversation on this phone, he puts the phone down and he says to me, they really appreciate that, Johnny. And would you really be prepared to do that? And I went, I really need to get him off that roof. My fucking mother will end up devastated. I really get him down out of there. And they were like, okay, so we need you, Johnny. We'll call for you. Are you okay with that now? And I went, yeah, of course I'm not. Just do what you can to get me to talk that brother of mine off of there. So I'm away back to the cell and I'm like, yes, I fucking think I've cracked it. And so I'm sitting and I'm watching it unfold. And we go back to your question about the lawyers. I watched it unfold on the TV and I went, who the fuck is that, man? And I'm looking and I see the serious crime squad there, the same cunts that fitted Joseph up. They're talking to Joe through the skylight in the attic. Joe's sitting on the roof, and fucking all the boys for the scheme and all the families for the scheme and showing the moral support for Joe. So coppers are everywhere, fucking fire brigades there, ambulances are there. So anyway, I'm like, nice one, it couldn't have fucking happened at a better time. Because I'm going to take advantage of this situation, because I'm going to smash the fucking roof up anyway. I could have up my mission back, so between me and Joe and a great majority of the boys and the housing scheme and their families, all the protesters, no great guys, all the guys. So they know the plan I've got. I've already put the plan into motion with them. They've already been there, I've put word what exactly what I need done. So the trick is, if they let me out and I go into that roof to talk to Joseph, then I'm not going fucking back down to the buildings, race to the ground. And by this time, the plan was that all their families, all their pals and the people who all grew up with, they're going to come on the roofs as well. So we're going to hit all the roofs in this small fucking housing scheme and wreck the place just to gain attention. We really need we really need the attention. I mean, you're not going to get it by writing a fucking letter. You know what I mean? You're not going to get that kind of attention by writing letters. So you've got to go to drastic measures. So then the next thing I'm looking, and I see the two coppers, he's darting down and back into the manhole, into the skylight. And I fucking next thing I see Joe's lawyers popped his head out. A guy called Cobb. And he's, and for what I can see the body language, he's trying to talk Joseph down for the rooftop. And I'm like, fucking never, man, never. And the fucking next thing I seen Joe, I don't know how long it was, man, next thing I seen Joe walking towards the skylight where the coppers were, and that wee guy called Cobb. And when Joseph came down for the roof, the reporters were all heading up to my mother's and fucking trying to get a statement off me. But my mum never, my mum was frightened of that kind of thing. She shied away from that. She was never one for confronting anybody or to be confronted with such things, you know. And but I noticed Mr. Cobb never gave a statement on Joe's behalf. I mean, I was like, Joe, naughty, fucking naughty. But anyway, the governor calls from me. And he's like, oh, great news for you. And I thought, fuck, I felt like kicking him right in the face. And I went, no, how are you about that? He went, when Joseph was down, I felt like I fucking know it, but I was fucking devastated. But anyway, but Joe had never been in a position like that before. He said, well, you talk about all these things, Johnny, it all sounds great and you visualise it. He said, but when you're up there, it's entirely different. You know, I was saying to Joe, you're not going to cover yourself in shit, Joe. Just fucking stripped off, butt naked, cover yourself in shit. I said, the public have never seen it before. I said, but that's the position you put in it to gain fucking attention to the wrongdoings of the coppers. So I said to Joseph, I said, well, I don't mind getting involved with Joseph, and fucking no disrespect to your wee lawyer, but I don't want, I'll never do anything as long as you've got that guy representing you. And he said, oh no, I'm going to get rid of him. And I went, well, I need the evidence, Joe. I want you to give me a letter out that I can get fucking out the door, telling him that you no longer wish his services, and I also need another letter saying that you want to take John Carroll on board. I'm sure John was Tommy Campbell's lawyer in the very first instance. John was the next copy himself. And that's exactly what Joe done. He get rid of that. Cause that wee lawyer could have went to, and I think the lawyer was severely intimidated with this serious crime squad, Mum. I think that wee lawyer was under pressure and intimidated, because what lawyer's not going to go to a report and say, that's my client up there, he's protesting his innocence. He never even done that, and that's why I'm like, Joe, he's involved in the fucking skullduggery. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've written a book on Making a Murder about all the different ways the authorities use to set people up. Paying snitches to lie by letting them go free, planting evidence, the map, getting the lawyer to work for the prosecution, that's another one of the methods. So everything you're describing here in this, you know, this is one of the biggest cases of injustice in the Scottish history of Scottish penal system. Same old tactics that they use in America, same old tactics here, corrupt law enforcement use. Now, how old was Joe when he got arrested, and how long did it take before there was a trial?
Well, it took a good Well, what happens, you get your appeal court, you get your appeal first and foremost, which is a very formal up and nothing to answer for, out. So that's the case that everybody who gets a high court sentence or a sentence, you've got an appeal, and you know that, you know, especially in a case like that, it's not going to be a real appeal. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be nothing to answer for, here, out, nothing to say here, move along. Do you know what I mean? One of the ones. So Joe was quite young. Joe was very young when he gets sentenced. Joe must have been in his early 20s.
So he was in his early 20s?
Yeah.
So when he got arrested, he must have been about 20, was he?
Yeah, he was early 20s. He must have been 22 or 23 or something. Joe.
How long was he on remand?
Well, back in the day it was a 4-month stunt on remand.
4 months?
You had to be up at court within 110 days.
Yeah.
The trial had to be up and running within 110 days back then. It's changed now.
So that's quite fast then, they had a trial quite quickly.
Aye, that's why it was in Scotland then, but now they can take you up for hold you on for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
So 4 months before he got in and tried, and it took years of fighting before they got a real appeal. You know, the real appeal was when they get put out in bail. Then they get reached for the High Court on a bail. There are appeals you just keep you hooked up in custody, but in one particular time after we'd done so much skullduggery with the jailbreaks and that, they finally got it back into the appeal courts, and they got released on bail.
How long did that take?
Oh, that was years and years into it, you know, years and years into it.
This is the 12-year one?
This is Joseph, this is the life sentence, this is
But doesn't the appeal at the 12-year mark after 12 years?
Aye, but they end up with 2 appeals. But
okay.
What happened was, when the first appeal, they got released, and pending this so-called fucking inquiry.
So they actually let them out pending an inquiry?
Aye, pending this inquiry, we went for a few years. Then, so what happened was, I was staying in the Girlshire at the time, and I got a phone call from Joe saying, "I'm at court tomorrow, Johnny." I went, "You must be kidding me, John." He went, "No, but I got a phone call for John Carroll. They sprung it upon them. Back at court tomorrow." And I went, "Oh, fucking hell, Joe." I said, so what does John Carroll think? You know, I'm talking to Joseph's lawyer. He says, "John's not got a clue." And I went, "Oh," I said, "that's a fucking bad sign." I said, "I take that as a bad sign, Joseph. You're telling me your lawyer's not got a clue. He's involved with other court officials, and it's never been leaked to him that there's something going to go in your favour." I said, "What? I said, "Well, I was here when you go to court. I wouldn't fucking go back to court, Joe. I'd go on the run." "Oh, fuck all that, Joe." And I went, "Sorry, saying fuck all that, Joe. As your lawyer can't tell you that he's got good news for you, and it's fucking bad news." And he went, "Oh." I said, "Put Jim on." So Jim came on the phone. They're in a pub in Bennington. They're in a pub in the housing scheme. I'm fucking 150 mile away in a country cottage away out in the middle of nowhere, 16 miles for the fucking nearest shop up a dirt track road. I said, "Put Jim on." So Jim comes on the phone. I went, "I don't like the sound of this, Jim." I said, "You're telling me John Carroll doesn't know what's going to happen tomorrow at court?" He went, "Ah, it'll be alright, Johnny." I went, "No, fuck." I said, "Jim, get him to fuck, get him out of the road, man." I said, "Well, I'm rang, he can hunt himself back in." I went, "Come on." I said, "Fucking hell, man, you've got to the appeal court tomorrow. There's no leaks anywhere in the court corridors to say that it's gone in their favour." I said, "Well, it's gone against them." "Oh, fucking hell, Johnny, you don't want to start with this. Just come back down, you'll find that we're going to have a big party tonight in Bennington's." I went, "There'll be a fucking riot tonight, Jim, in Bennington's." So I went, "Who's all there?" I put Big Joe McCready on. Big Joe comes on the phone. Big pally was brought us through the ranks. And my brother Kedgy. So Big Joe's there. And Joe's like, "I know what you're thinking, Johnny." He said, "I know you're always on the ball." He says, "But it'll be fine, make your way through here. Just get through the party, man, a big party. Tomorrow we're a street party." I went, "These are all fucking crackers." I went, "Anybody else there?" And a wee guy called Steph McCroffy, Postal, he was Joe's best man. Joe got married when he was at the bail. He was the best man. So I put Steph on. Steph's like, no, I'm listening to you saying, Johnny boy, he says, nah, fucking, everything you've said so far has been bang on. Now, I don't like to fucking be the bearer of bad news here, mate, but fucking somebody's going to have to wake up and smell the fucking coffee. Then I had the task of phoning my poor mother. I went, Mother, she went, aye son, are you coming down? They're talking about having a party for Joe, and I was like, listen, Ma, I like to be the bearer of bad news. And she was nearly greeting when I was telling her. I said, Ma, just fucking be prepared. Be prepared. I've already told you this before, and I don't like to tell you these things because I don't like to see you hurted. But I'm the only one you should fucking listen to, because I seem to be the only one that knows what we're talking about, Matt. And that's me being disrespectful to anybody else. I don't go through the system with my eyes closed. I said that I've got a bad feeling about him, Mother. And the bad feeling's coming from John Carroll's fucking silence. John Carroll doesn't know nothing. And I don't like it, Ma, so you better be prepared, girl. And I was fucking right, and went back to court the next day, and they fucking banged him fucking back into the jail again, no case to answer for. So, I was fucking right, there was a fucking rioting scheme that night. The place was black with coppers, every street, they'd fucking they'd horseback coppers out, they'd riot vans with the big shields on the windies, because they were expecting trouble. In fact, when they all went to the appeal, court and make it dragged out, all the judges fucked off at the back of the bench. The court flunkies and fucking court officials all done a disappearance. They were left in the court themselves, all the visitors and all the families. All their families and some of the protesters were all locked in the fucking court. Because they knew there was going to be trouble and they were all kicking off. So, they lost the appeal. They thought that had been the end of the matter. I mean, but I had that bad feeling when John Carroll was, he was an ex-copper, John Carroll, and I think John left the force because they were out chasing a guy during a robbery. The guy was a wee pal of yours actually, and John Carroll was working along these other coppers who were on the chase hunting this guy down. And by the time fucking John Carroll got back to the police station with other coppers and have apprehended the boy, John Carroll said that there was verbal used there, he says, that I didn't know nothing about. And when he seen the way that the coppers were working, using skullduggery to gain convictions, John Carroll left the police force and became a lawyer, and a very good one at that. And so they end up back in the jail. So you can imagine the hullabaloo, you know. And they're talking about fucking, there's talks about escapes. So I fell out with them all. Cause I fell out with my brother Jim. And I went, I fucking told you to listen to me. We could have had Joe away. We could have had him away back down, and now we're going to go and fucking break him out of jails. I said, we've done all this work for fuck all. I said, and I told you not to let him go back to the court. Could have had a bad feeling about it. And suddenly you all become fucking Philadelphia lawyers and you're telling me, no, this will happen and that'll happen. So it was quite a shock when we went back. But like I say, the police were at full force in the housing scheme. Riot vans and motorbikes and horseback, dog patrol, you know, because it was ready for kicking off, you know, and a lot of people were really upset. And then they must have thought that was the end of the matter, but it wasn't the end of the matter at all. It was a long, hard fight to get into where they should have been, back in the appeal court.
Didn't it reach a point where the two jailhouse snitches, including Love, said that they didn't say the things that the police wrote those statements and told them to sign it, or else they were going to charge them with the murders.
They used that. Tommy Campbell and Joseph's lawyers used that. What you're talking about at court, and they had retracted their statements, that Billy Love and whoever else. But they said no. They wouldn't budge on that. No, that still stands.
So they accepted that these guys had lied,
They knew they were liars.
But they kept the conviction standing.
Yeah.
They
knew they were liars. They were proven liars.
That's some Alice in Wonderland justice system stuff right there.
Yeah, well, you know what? They've been getting away with this kind of thing for long and weary, the series Crime Squad. And that, and they just picked the wrong guys for a wrong case, because that was never a, if that had been an ordinary assault and robbery or something like that, then maybe not put up so much a fight, but because it was a fucking terrible crime, and to be fitted up for such a horrific crime by fucking a corrupted fucking police force, then that was a no-no. I mean, so you had to take the fight back to them. That much I did know, and that's what I planned for the very beginning, to take the fight straight to him. And I sat down with Joseph, and I wouldn't have done for Joseph. Me and him sat down and spoke about it, and he was all in agreement with me. You know, right up to where I said, I'll come fucking break you any jail you're in. Like, even though we're going to get to jail myself, then I said, we'll all get you fucking, but the only way we're going to get out of here is getting the publicity and turning any big guns back on these countries fitting us up. These dirty rotten serious crime squads have been doing it all over the country. And they'd never come up against anything like it. They'd never seen a force like us. That's not to say there's no serious forces running about all the country. There's a lot of serious contenders out there. But they were never in the position that we were in to put that fight up. And we did have a lot of backing for a lot of different mafia families all over the country. You know, right through Glasgow to Paisley, Greenock, London and Surrey and all over Liverpool, Belshire. So there was always, because the fight was against the system that everybody grew up with and everybody had suffered at one point or another. So the coppers had never, there was a stage when I was walking the road, the fucking coppers were following me with motors, because I'd been done for breaking all the boys that you saw in prison, about Joseph, I think 5 or 6 in my skate. And I'd be walking down the road with my daughter, and I'd hear the engine, I'd hear the familiar ticking of a fucking diesel engine, and right back in with the coppers. You're not going too fucking far, you're not going too far for us, Steele. You know, we know what you're up to. But it just had to be done, and it was a lot of hard work. But they had never seen a force like it. The coppers had never been put. They didn't need to ever put up such a fight as the one we brought to them. So they were on the ropes for every angle. They didn't know when it was fucking going to stop. They didn't know it was going to come, because it was happening here, there, and everywhere. Suddenly we were all coming to the woodwork.
So people on YouTube who've watched your other podcast, The Escape Artist, on my channel, the description was going to be in the box below this video. Johnny Boy escaped multiple times. It's what's so fascinating about his story. Adept, I was just taken today to one of the prisons and looked at the wall, and the height from where he did one of his escapes just blew my mind. I would have broke my neck if I'd have tried to get down there. And we discussed some of that in the previous podcasts. So they've gone up against you and your entire family now. You're putting your mind together, coming up with these strategies to draw attention to the case and to hit back against these corrupt authorities. What was the first time Joe escaped then?
First time was the one I told you about earlier, when I organised it for my cell in Bellany Prison.
Okay.
Especially that was actually...
That was what we discussed. Yeah.
And the next one was something similar for another home visit. And that was the one we took him to Buckingham Palace. And the trick was there was to gain as much publicity as we could, so we couldn't think of a better place other than the palace gates, 2 big massive palace gates. You know. And
there's an actual photo out there of the Queen looking through her curtain, and this guy who's super glued to the Buckingham Palace gates.
Yeah, it's quite an iconic photograph of Joseph, because we've got him handcuffed first and foremost, and we've also superglued his palms, his hands wrapped around the railings. These very beautiful ornate railings, Victorian railings. And we've got my t-shirt on with the crucifixion on it, the Jesus on the cross, and Joseph's positioned on the railings as Jesus was on the cross. So you're looking at Joseph crucified style on the palace gates, then you see the T-shirt with Jesus crucified on the cross. It was the exact same for the symbol, you know. But with a meaning to it, you know. And there's this copper, he's London copper with the big tall hats, you know. And he's almost nose to nose with your Joe, and he's looking as if, you know, as if he can't believe it. I think I've seen, I think you've got the photograph on your podcast there. So we were all standing there and we were all chatting, and this other copper's come out and he's got the bolt cutters. So they think it's just a case of getting one snip, and taking Joseph off the gates. So when they've got the cuffs off and they're ready to pull him, I'd be like, oh, fucking whoa, he's super glued. They're like, what? He's like, fucking guy's super glued. And they're like, never. So they had to get the fire brigade, paramedics, and fucking the place was swarming. But yeah, somebody was saying to me peeking at one of the windows. Somebody said it was the Queen peeking at one of the commotion was. Because there's about 100 of us all cheering and chanting and big banners up, fucking free Joe Steele's innocent. But that opened up, that took the case further afield, because that photograph was spectacular, and it was nearly every newspaper all over the country. You know, it was real, one of the best photographs I've ever seen as far as escape videos are concerned, you know.
Before we continue, Fiona's here, so we were going to do a break now.
Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so you're going to tell us who was involved in one of the escapes?
Yeah, well, when I was in the cages in Inverness prison, there was a priest who used to come around and visit me once a week, Father Bernard MacDonald. He was a lovely wee guy, yeah. So he turns up, and of course I'm on the dirty protest, and I felt embarrassed, and I thought, never. So I says to the turnkey, put the light out. I said, because I can't look this guy in the eye. And I said, it's rather embarrassing. And the Father McDonald said, oh, don't worry about that, son, it's okay. I'm here for you, for your soul. He says, never mind anything else. So we became quite pally, me Father McDonald. I said, well, let me make one thing quite clear to you. I said, I ain't interested in talking about religion. I've not got any time for him up there. And I said, and he ain't got any time for me. I said, so to me it's a taboo subject, because I don't want to talk about it. He said, I don't mind that at all. So he said, I'll talk to you about it. So I was sitting telling him about my life as a child, on the run for the prayer schools, and in fact he'd actually been to visit my prayer school, St Joseph's Boys Prayer School, which was run by the De La Salle brothers, you know, just monks. And funny enough, he'd been there. He'd brought a team of football players for the Highlands down to play the kids and the prayer school. Anyway, that was the kind of thing that we spoke about. And so, and he came to visit me when I left the prison. He came to visit me in the special unit, and he brought his brothers up and his brother's wife, and so we always kept in touch, you know, and he was such a lovely guy. But before I left, I felt my conscience was getting the better of me, and I thought, you know, I want to give this wee guy my confession. I said, what, are we here all fucking week? So I thought, and anyway, and the guards were earwigging. I mean, and I didn't even want to for hearing anything, you know what I mean? So I wrote this bit of verse for him. It's called Fool's Gold, and I went, well, you know what, I'll give him my confession, but I'll just give him a wee bit of paper. And I wrote this bit of verse called Fool's Gold, and it goes like, I went in search of gold, Father, with blood upon my hands. Without this gold my life seemed cold, yet with it life was grand. I went and sought this gold with one foot in the fire. Ah, so much gold to have and to hold somehow strengthened my desire. But now that I have this precious metal, which gave me such a thrill, it seems my mind will never settle, and it screams it never will. One careless step, a thoughtless deed, and I've thrown away my life. To steal this gold there was no need, nor to spill blood with my knife. Many long years have now gone past, and nigh all the gold is spent, and for me the end is coming fast, yet my soul ain't worth a cent. Every day it haunts me, there's a whisper in the cold, and I fear the devil will want me as I the gold. So I gave him that, and I said, don't show the bastards that. Don't let him take that off you. So, and when they came to visit me, in the bloody special, and we kept in touch, he had that wallet, and he had that poem in his wallet. For all the years, when we used to go around the chapels, he used to read out to the prisoners that would go to the hospitals to see prisoners that were on drugs or dying prisoners.
Wow.
And he had it right up to the day he died, and he was a great guy. So there was a time when me and Joe were on the run, when I broke him out of Stockton, and we've been put up here, there and everywhere. But there was a particularly Big Stuart Gillespie from Paisley. Stuart had a lot of property all over the place in Paisley. So he says, right, I can put yous out the road for a while. He says, till we get something sorted out. So, while me and Joseph's in this fella's flat, one of his properties, I had a thought, and I said to Joe, because I was trying to figure out what our next move could be. And I'm saying to Joseph, I said, I've got an idea, Joe. I says, I need to phone Farrah McDonald. So I've always had Farrah McDonald's phone number, you know. And so I phones Farrah McDonald, and of course he's a bit on the nest, we're in Paisley. He's like, oh, Johnny, he says, Johnny, he says, my son, how are you? And I went, I'm fine, Farrah. Have you still got that bit of verse? And he went, oh, it's never left my wallet. I went, I wonder if you could help me out here, Farrah. And he says, what can I do for you? And how's Joe, how's your mother? Because he met my family in the unit, you know, how's the family sisters? How's Joseph? I've been reading all about the escapes, and Johnny were praying for him, and I hope he gets a result, you know, that kind of way, you know. And I went, yeah, he's fine. I said, he's actually sitting here with me right now. I said, I need to ask you something, Farrah. I said, I'm trying to find if we can get sanctuary anywhere in the British Isles for me and Joe to holler up, because there's a massive search out for Joseph by this time. And he says to me, I'm not too sure about that one. He says, I'd need to go to the library and check that. And he says, and I will do that. He said, and I will get back to you. I said, well, in the meantime, Farrah, I says, Joseph wants to talk to you. I says, could he that? Joseph was pally with a nun, Sister Teresa, who worked in the Stockton prison. And he was quite fond of her, and she was quite fond of him. And so I put Joseph on the phone to Farrah McDonald, and Joseph was talking away to him, and then he says to Farrah McDonald, do you think you could get me a contact number for Sister Teresa? And he says, oh, I'll be able to do that for you. And he, in fact, I'm going to do that now. And he phoned back with Sister Teresa's phone number. So Joseph was sitting talking to wee Sister Teresa on the phone for about half an hour. And we were on a loudspeaker, you know. And it was such an emotional, it was so emotional, it was so indifferent for the rest of the involvements we were in the past with the escapes. Because it was all gang related, no skullduggery. It was involved in helping, and then suddenly we had a priest and a nun who were trying to find out if they could get sanctuary in the British Isles somewhere. And it really was quite emotional, you know what I mean, to have that kind of backing for the outside. And then they were talking about, we've got all the help for him up there. And you can do what you do down here, and we'll do the help for up, we'll praying, and everybody's praying for you and praying for Joseph. And so he got back to us about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, and he says to me, he said, I've not got good news, Johnny. He said, the last loophole was closed about 18 months ago in Ireland, because the IRA soldiers were using the churches, the chapels over in Ireland for sanctuary, and the government couldn't get them out because it was the house of the Lord. So but that one fell through, but it was still worth a try, you know. But I'd like to pay tribute to wee Farrah McDonald. He was such a lovely guy, you know, and he really was. And all I ever regret that I never gave him my confessions, but I should have done the next best thing and give him that wee bit of verse.
So Joseph served almost 20 years for a crime he hadn't committed. Yeah. In the end, how did he get out?
He got took back up to the appeal court, and John Carroll, who was Joseph's lawyer at the time, he had been to see a linguistic expert because of his verbal statement that Joseph was supposed to have said it wasn't me at the match, and this guy was an expert on this, and he was saying is if there's 5 or 6 people and suddenly something gets spurted out the blue, and not everybody's going to remember it word for word. They might say the same sort of thing, but it'll be mumble jumble. I didn't like the match, it was somebody else, it wasn't me that liked the match. I don't know who liked the match. That's the way John Carroll was putting that across. Plus he brought all the other evidence back up, the liar, Billy Liar, Billy Live, Billy Liar, and a lot of other flaws in the statements. And they probably knew that the case was me, but this time we've got a registered, what do you call it, for fighting cases. We're registered now. We're a big committee. We're actually fighting legally. We've got Tommy Sheridan and politicians and coppers, and we've got everybody on our side. This big group of people, you know what I mean? And we're starting to get TV documents done at it, and family members appearing on shows talking about Joe's case and Tommy's case. So the momentum was still going strong. So there was no way it was loosening up. And they must have decided at the end of the day, you know what, we better just throw the towel in here, because this is just getting worse, this isn't going to go away. And they went to the appeal court, and surprisingly, they ended up out. I was there, I went back to the jail with Joe. Joe said to go back to the prison to go and pick up his stuff. And he drove him back in.
How did that feel?
I don't know how it must have felt for Joseph, but it must have been one bloody hell of a weight off his shoulders, because that was the weight of the world on top of him, you know what I mean? And
how did it feel for you?
oh, that was so relieving. I was bleeding. I was crying, man. I was crying. I was trying to bring the tears back into my eyes so that it looked as if it was snot that was running down my eyes. Didn't want anybody to see me crying.
No onions this time.
Yeah, and I thought, no. But it was great. It was the greatest feeling ever for me. And it must have been the same for Joseph. But then you've got to take into consideration the damage it must have done to Joseph's head.
Yeah, the heart operation as well, didn't he?
Yeah, but you've got to take into consideration that the damage done being convicted of that crime in the first place, first and foremost. And secondly, losing out his son growing up, and it has a terrible strain on the relationship. The relationship now dies. But he still had a good bond going, that his wife was turning up to the protest and his son ended up getting involved in the protest. So I don't really know how Joseph, I don't know, he could have been so scrambled that he might not even took it on board as a wee bit, you know what I mean? Sometimes that happens. But we were so relieved. And John Carroll, his lawyer, he was at the High Court. And I'm saying, oh, John, man, yes, the lawyer, John Carroll, man. And I went, what a show, man. And I went, John, there's all the reporters there, you should better go and talk to them. He went, I can't, Mr. Steele. He said, I've got another client to deal with further down the road, and walked away for the publicity, and went dealt with another guy in another court. A great lawyer he was, man. He really great lawyer, and he done a lot of work, and he didn't even get paid for it through his leg. You know, so we're quite indebted to John Carroll as well, you know, and I'd like to pay my respect to John. I mean, and of course Joseph knows the work John Carroll put in to help to fight that conviction. So they finally got released, but it was after a long time. But the issue that's never been raised is, where are these guys that fucking fitted them up? Why have they not been taken to task? How would you not take these guys to task? You can't just have people running about who are meant to be protecting us, fit members of the public up, and getting these horrible convictions. You know, they're getting the pats in the back, and the other guys are getting smuggled and fucking in solitary confinement, and nobody was ever held accountable. So, and as Joe and Tommy says, there was no winners. Mrs. Dow didn't even get justice. I mean, there wasn't any really winners in that. The only ones, the winners at that moment in time was the coppers, But then, as Joe Steele says, when he went to prison and Joe gave an interview, Joe says, well, they know who they are, and they're the ones who need to go home and live with it. My conscience is clear. They need to look in the mirror, need to live with their family, need to live with their colleagues, and everybody knows what they've done.
Do you think because in America it's called absolute immunity, do you think because there is no repercussions for the authorities, that's an incentive for them to be, continue to do this?
Fucking dear God. That's what I've been in repercussions for us being criminals. That's good there. I mean, think about it. And they'll ask, when these investigations all take place, they say, well, asking Pablo Escobar to investigate the fucking Mexican mafia. I mean, because these investigations are internal, so they've got the serious crime squad investing in the serious crime squad. You've got another police force investigating one police force, and it's all they'll go to a T. They had it sewed up. They had it sewed up back in the day. They could do what they really wanted when it came to manufacturing evidence. They had it sewed up, and they got away with it for so long. And then there comes a time, and people go, whoa, you've got the Birmingham 6, then you've got the Guildford 4, you've got the Paddy Meakin case, there's dozens of cases out there. But back in the day, a lawyer wouldn't even stand up in a court and call a copper a fucking liar. Oh, that's unethical, we can't do that. Well, you will get yourself to fucking, I'll call him a fucking liar. Because they did a duty towards the court. They wouldn't go off the rails. I mean, you know why? Because the whole system was corrupt. I'm not saying all the lawyers are all corrupt, but the system's corrupt. The system is geared to not to be beneficial to the underdog. To give you an example, there's pocket officials holding back evidence that if it was released at that moment in time, that prisoners wouldn't have been convicted. And if that's what is holding back information to the coppers, they'd be fucking charged with holding information. So, and then that's so terribly wrong, Shaun, as you know, and I dare say you know a few cases yourself. But there was no checks and balances back in the day. The coppers had the free rein. They were the most powerful gang next to the politicians. And what their aim was policy. They say to the politicians, well, we can't get these guns, and they say, well, get them one way or the other. But it didn't matter who they were going for, they were picking the wrong people up and getting people for things that they had never ever done. So it was policy back in the day to use that kind of a skullduggery to gain a conviction. Nobody to confront them. Nobody had the balls to confront them.
And the other great tragedy is for the Doyle family, because they thought, the police told them, we've got the guys who did it. Yeah. They thought there was going to be justice, and now to this day this is still unsolved. Yeah, well, when we were planning the escape, me and Joe were planning the escape back in the day, and we were talking about Mrs. Doyle and all that. The thing is, Joe, about us, me and you getting in this wall as of now, they can't going to have you doing a fucking monster on the run, and poor Mrs. Doyle might become intimidated and threatened. So first and foremost, get a letter out to Mrs. Doyle telling her what your intentions are. This is my intentions is to fight this for the rest of my life, Mrs. Doyle, and if I get a chance to get over that wall, you've got nothing to worry about, you've got nothing to fear. I've nothing to do with the death of your family. And he did write the letter when we smuggled it out through a reporter. And as far as we know, Mrs. Doyle got the letter. But we didn't want to start taking Joseph out for the coppers to put him down as a monster on the list. I mean, yeah. So you had to kind of try and safeguard yourself and take into Mrs. Doyle's feelings if Joe had made an appearance on the other side of that wall, and then you never know, they could be saying, well, we'll put in a safe house to intimidate and terrorise the poor soul, you know what I mean? But it's just unfortunate that Joe's not really into interviews, Shaun, you know what I mean? I'd like Joe to have been here. I'd like to have actually seen him and Tommy Campbell sit together. Yeah, it'd be fascinating.
On your podcast, you know what I mean?
Such an important story that the world needs to hear.
It's one of the most important miscarriages of justice.
You've told it very well here today. I served just under 6 years, and I felt I was starting to get institutionalised. But to serve almost 20 years, I can't imagine, how that must have affected Joe's mind over the years, and how when he got released, how he readjusted back to normal society.
It's a different kind of institutionalisation that you're talking about, two innocent men.
Yeah.
You know, the difference was me and you.
Yeah.
We were doing some robberies or whatever the case may be, but then we get caught.
Yeah.
Then we become a social. It's different, but to be detained illegally and to be fitted up for such fucking horrific murders.
Yeah. The intensity level, I can't imagine.
So I wouldn't think institutionalisation would come into it. I think it's fucking unique in the Mental Torture Act.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You really need and you know what? And there was a guy called Terry Waite. No disrespect to Terry Waite. Yeah, no due respect to him. A guy called Terry Waite back in the 80s. Gaddafi's mob kidnapped some British, took some British hostages. One was a woman, she was pregnant, and this politician Terry Waite says he sent word to the hostage takers, I'm quite willing to trade myself for a pregnant woman. So they went, okay then, well, you can take her and we'll take you. So they held Terry Waite for about 4 years or so. And it was a massive story, it was all over the world it was. Terry Waite goes in this hostage place to let the pregnant woman go. And you know, I kind of followed the story every now and again, and they always had an outside body checking in on the hostages, and they were getting fed well and that kind of thing. And then came the day that they were getting released, Terry Waite included. And I'm sitting watching it unfold in the prison. Terry's been held for about 4 years by this time, and I'm watching it unfold on television that they're being released, and you see the. I'm quite sure it was a military airplane that brought them back to land in Heathrow or wherever. And there was a fucking horde of psychiatrists and psychologists waiting at the plane to take them away and debrief them. And I thought, cheeky bastards. You know, and like I say, no disrespect to Terry, and I thought, dirty, cheeky bastards. Fucking guys in these jails for more of their life, and they go out that gate and there's not even a pal to fucking, a probation officer with learning difficulties waiting to tutor you.
Yeah.
And I thought they should be doing that with everybody. Because we're all being held against for will, no matter what way you want to look at it. We're being held prisoner, we're held hostage, it's the same thing. But they were quick to come round Terry Waite, only because of the amount of publicity that Terry Waite had gained throughout the whole wide world, and the eyes of the world were on that plane. You know, but when it comes to a prisoner in a long-term sentence, he's at that gate, he's got nothing but a bundle on his back, and if he's not got any friends, he's even more fucked. And he may be sent, and there's a form, take that to the homeless unit and banged up in sort of homeless units. But there certainly wasn't then, I don't know about now, but there was nobody there to meet you, to debrief you, to try and get into your head, you know, to try and see the damage that the prison system has done. Because that's what the prison's geared to torment you, to destroy you, to deter you, to break your spirit, to deter you from ever re-offending again. And it's that fucking breaking the spirit, which people think is an invisible fucking horror that's in there. It's that. That's what they're talking about, break the mind. And when they dare are damnedest to break that mind through psychological, more so psychological torture and abuse. And on top of that, you've also got the physical. You know, but that's going for a long period of time. There's bound to be catastrophic consequences. And poor guys, and many times you picked up a newspaper and you went like, oh, there's a judge sentencing a guy to 20 years. And the judge saying, I'm bloody sick of this. You're just out after doing 15 years. Well, you know what? I'll make a lesson to you. And they sentence the guy. Do you think the guys are coming back out and doing that to them, putting their thumbs up to them? The guys are coming out with their heads scrambled. Their heads are totally fucked. Some guys are good at hiding it. Some people can't express themselves. Some people hide it that well that they end up on drugs to forget about it. And then when they sober up, they go back on the drugs again. The whole system's completely wrong. You know, what we're allowed to get away with internally in the prisons and what the cops were allowed to get away with externally was absolutely shocking. Yeah. Absolutely bloody shocking.
Well, you've done a brilliant job, Johnny, of describing this really moving an important story. And
I've got one more wee story to tell you.
Yeah.
It'll take a couple of minutes. When I was a
go
kid,
for it.
when I was a kid in the Prue School, St Joseph's Boys Prue School, in Edinburgh, it was run by the monks, the De La Salle brothers, and they were kind of religious fanatics. And whatever you done wrong, they seemed to think it was the devil within you, and they thought that they could beat the devil out of you. But there's one guy in particular. This guy called Brother Benedict. His real name was Mr. Murphy. His brother's name was Brother Benedict, but his nickname was Big Bootsy, right? So, and I'm telling you this story because I wrote about this many years ago, in 1992. I wrote about this particular incident, and it only came to light in the last year or so. When we were all kids, we weren't allowed to smoke in the Prue School. We were school kids, we were 12, 13. So this guy has just started, this Brother Bootsy, Brother Benedict. And he deliberately left his room door open, because we were all going by his room to go to the corridor, go along the corridor to the dining hall or to the dormitories. So I was by and I spotted this tobacco tin on this big wooden desk. So my pal went, "Did you clock that there, Johnny?" And I said, "I'm on to it." "I'm going to have that in a fucking minute. Just keep the clock watch." So I've darted back and I've ran into this guy's room to grab this tobacco tin, but I've got electrocuted. He's had it wired up. He had the tin wired up there. So anyway, I'm rattling rolling about the flare. His skinny legs and his fucking long corduroy shorts on. You know, like, I was like taking a fit, you know, in a convulsion. This big fucking crackpot is kicking me and punching me. So anyway, I wrote about it many years ago, and I wrote a lot of other horrific things, and you know what was going on in these places. And I got a phone call from a pal of mine one day. In fact, it was Big John. Big John said, "Have you seen the newspapers?" And I went, "No." He went, "Big Bushy's doing 14 years," and I went, "You're fucking kidding me on, what for? I thought he'd murdered somebody in his retirement." He went, "Go and get the day's paper." And what happened is, there was kids for your way back came forward, and they made the complaints, and they finally they charged him with this mental torture, physical torture. When you're trying to tell people this was happening to you when you're fucking 12 years of age, they nothing, they wouldn't do nothing about it, or they didn't even seem shocked. And I'm thinking, you don't get anybody to tell me, there's no checks and balances. But the big brother, the big monk, ended up doing 14 years. He's still in prison to this day. He only got 2 years ago for doing what I wrote about all these years ago. You know, talking about a corrupt system, do you know what I mean? The De La Salle brothers, I'm not saying they were all corrupt, but some were fanatics. You know, some were religious fanatics, which isn't a good thing at all, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he's doing a 14 stretch now, and that was the kind of things he'd done to us as kids, and that might have been a laugh to him, do you know what I mean? But it certainly wasn't never a laugh to us. But all across the board, you know, in every part of the establishment, remand homes, Prue schools, prisons, women's prisons, cop shops, Parliament, House of Commons, High Court judges, all across the spectrum, there's corruption to the highest level.
Yeah.
And I knew that from an early age, and was never in a position to voice my opinion. And if you did voice your opinion, it would cost you fucking leathering. You'd have been leathered and laughed at and mocked at. You started to bring this to a higher attention, like say a judge. He was like, "Nah, because they're all involved in that. All the judges are all involved in all the skullduggery."
Yeah.
Then they had fucking reports into the homes we were in, and the guy who led the report into the abuse that was going on in the Prue school was part of a fucking paedophile ring. He was one of the top social workers in the country. I'm sure he came from England. They brought him in as an independent, and he exonerated all the sexual abuse, but found that the regime needed change, and all they did was change the regime a wee bit, but nobody was ever brought to task. And I've got the reports now that this guy, the Cotler, they had him doing one of the most dangerous guys in the country. because he was in a position he was in charge of the whole education department. That covers schools and boarding schools, the pre-schools, level 3 schools, and he was part of the biggest one of the organised fucking GIRO gangs in the whole country. Yeah.
It's mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you've enjoyed this interview, please put comments below the video. If you've got any questions for Johnny Boy, I'm sure we'll be having him back on the podcast. In the description box below this video, we've got Johnny's other 2 podcasts. We've also got a link there for the Blink podcast. And if you would like to see Joe, Johnny's brother, he did do an interview with James English. I'm going to put the link in the description box below. If you'd like to see Joe come on to this podcast, please put your messages for Joe below. I mean, to go for almost 20 years, to literally be kidnapped and tortured for almost 20 years, for Joe to have the mental strength, the bravery, the fortitude to get through this, you know, I salute him, and I hope hearing this story, you guys out there in YouTube, put supportive comments, and if you would like Joe to come on the podcast, put a message to Joe asking him, and perhaps if enough of you put supportive comments and messages and Joe reads these, maybe Joe will actually consider coming on the podcast himself and giving his version of events, which Johnny Boy has brilliantly described today. And appreciate you your time again.
You're welcome,
it's
sir.
been a great pleasure. Thank you. Cheers. Yeah, well done. Thanks very much. Thanks, guys. Yeah.